Yes, my friends, the Philadelphia Eagles are once again shining at the center of the NFL spotlight, and rightfully so. Under the sharp leadership of Howie Roseman, this team has been turning into an absolute machine built to compete. The man just gets it. He understands the game off the field, made all the right moves, built a powerhouse roster, and let me tell you, the fans are flying right alongside him. It's impossible not to get hyped about what's happening. I can't even remember the last time I felt this confident, this excited, and most of all, this proud to wear these colors. The city is buzzing, the fans are dreaming, and this isn't just hype. We're building something massive. But before we dive into the red-hot news shaking up the green universe of Philly, let me ask you something. What grade would you give Howie for everything he's done for the Eagles? Honestly, for me, it's nothing less than a perfect score, 1,000. I haven't been this pumped in decades. Our GM's work is on another level. Thank you for everything, Howie. With Nick Sirianni at the helm and a roster that blends youth, talent, and experience, a lot of people already believe it. The next Super Bowl could very well have our wings etched on that trophy. And honestly, I don't doubt it for a second. We're going to get there. But hold on, we'll talk more about that in a bit. For now, sit tight, because it's time for the first big story of the day. Howie Roseman is standing at a crossroads. With the NFL trade market heating up, two major names, TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson, are stirring the pot, and Roseman's patience, restraint, and long-term vision are being put to the test. Both of these players are currently holding out for mandatory minicamps, and for very good reason. They're looking for new contracts. They've earned it, they know it, and they're sending a message. TJ Watt, arguably one of the most disruptive defenders in the league, is playing the final year of his contract. He knows his worth, and if you're Howie Roseman, watching a defensive anchor like what potentially slipped through Pittsburgh's fingers, you have to at least pick up the phone. But here's the kicker. The Eagles have been deliberately building a roster with youth, affordability, and depth in mind. Making a splash for a player of Watt's caliber would shake the current blueprint. On the other side, Trey Hendrickson, another name Eagles fans should absolutely keep on their radar, is in a very similar situation. Entering the last year of his deal, Hendrickson leads the NFL in sacks over the last 2 seasons, racking up 17.5 sacks in both 2023 and 2024. Yes, you heard that right. That's production at an elite level, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. His durability, efficiency, and explosiveness off the edge make him one of the most valuable pass rushers in the game. And yet, he's not even on the list of top 10 highest paid edge rushers. That's bound to change. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Eagles. As of now, Philadelphia sits with approximately $32.4 million in cap space, 6th most in the NFL, behind only the Patriots, Lions, Jets, and Raiders. That's not small money, and with the post-June 1 designations of veterans like Darius Slay and James Bradbury, they've given themselves breathing room. Add in the flexibility created after moving Bryce Huff, and Roseman is looking at a war chest big enough to make serious moves. But should he? The long-term strategy gets complicated here. While the idea of adding someone like Watt or Hendrickson is undeniably exciting, it comes with a cost, not just in draft capital, but financially and culturally. The Eagles have key players who will soon be knocking on the front office door asking for new deals. That list is long and includes names fans are already attached to. Let's start with Jalen Hurts. He's currently the 11th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Yes, 11th. At $51 million, he's sitting behind Dak Prescott, $60 million, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, even Brock Purdy. Hurts, who led this team to a Super Bowl and walked out with an MVP, is making less than nearly every other franchise quarterback in his tier. You don't think his camp is paying attention? The moment Purdy got paid, Hurts and his reps were taking notes. Then there's Jalen Carter. If he stays healthy through 2024, expect his market value to skyrocket. We're talking about a player who could command upwards of $30 to $40 million next offseason. Reed Blankenship, he's outperformed his contract and plays at a position that's seen a dramatic increase in market value. Jordan Davis already had his 5th-year option picked up. The Eagles need to think about a potential early extension there too if he plays well this year. The same goes for Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, and even future-looking rookies like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. The front office knows this. Happy locker rooms win championships. They don't want contract disputes looming over key contributors. That means paying your stars early, and often, to stay ahead of market surges. But if Roseman goes all in for Watt or Hendrickson, that could handcuff the team's flexibility for upcoming extensions. And let's not forget the value of the youth already on this roster. Nolan Smith is coming off a season where he jumped from 1 sack to 6.5 sacks. That's not just improvement, it's a breakout. And yet, we still haven't seen the full ceiling. Hasten Reddick may be gone, but Josh Sweat and Smith are poised to step up, and if either continues on their current trajectory, they could become every bit as impactful as Watt or Hendrickson, and for a fraction of the cost. But this is Howie Roseman we're talking about, the master of aggressive roster building. You know he's watching these holdouts closely. The temptation to go big game hunting is real. He's done it before, and if he feels that adding a proven pass rusher is the final puzzle piece for a Super Bowl run, he may just pull the trigger, especially with Vic Fangio, one of the most. An Eagles fan paying attention, you know Howie Roseman's ears perk up at moments like this. The man has a reputation for big game hunting, and we've seen him go all in when the stakes are high. TJ Watt isn't just a name, he's a game changer, and Howie knows it. So while Watt continues his standoff in Pittsburgh, you better believe Philadelphia's front office is monitoring the situation closely. Then there's Trey Hendrickson. Quietly, consistently dominant, he's compiled 17.5 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons. That's not just production, that's elite consistency in a league where edge rushers define the defensive identity. Hendrickson, like Watt, is heading into the final year of his deal. The Bengals have already shelled out cash to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The big question is, do they have enough left to pay Hendrickson what he's worth? If they don't, and signs point to hesitation, you'd better believe teams like the Eagles are circling. Let's talk cap space. You can't make moves like this without the financial flexibility to support them. Right now, the Eagles are sitting at a healthy $32.4 million in cap room, 6th most in the NFL. They opened that space with moves like the Bryce Huff trade and post-June 1 designations for Darius Slay and James Bradberry. That money gives them options, big ones. But here's the rub, they don't have to spend it now. That cap space can be rolled into next year, offering long-term flexibility. And Howie Roseman, a master of financial foresight, is always planning not just for tomorrow but for years down the road. And the future is exactly where things start to get complicated. Because it's not just about outside talent. There are several key homegrown players who are either outperforming their current contracts or heading toward critical negotiations. Jalen Hurts, for one, is now the 11th highest paid quarterback in the league at $51 million per year, behind guys like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and even Jordan Love. No disrespect to them, but Hurts is a Super Bowl champion and MVP. His camp knows this deal is aging fast, and you can bet that a new extension is already being discussed behind closed doors. Then there's Jalen Carter. If he stays healthy in 2024, it's almost guaranteed he'll be looking at a monster payday. We're talking somewhere between $30 to $40 million. Reed Blankenship has also outperformed his deal and will be expecting a raise. The team picked up Jordan Davis's 5th-year option, but if he plays well this season, it may be smart to extend him early and save some cash before his value skyrockets. Nolan Smith and Tyler Steen are still early in their rookie contracts, but even they're on a clock, and we all know how quickly time flies in this league. This is the tightrope Roseman is walking. Spend now on proven stars like Watt or Hendrickson and make an aggressive push toward another Super Bowl appearance, or save, invest in your future, and take care of the guys who are already bleeding green for this franchise. It's a high-stakes balance of risk and reward. But make no mistake, Roseman is watching everything.